Hello, my name is Lewis and welcome to Gathering the Magic. With 2022 in full swing, we're looking at the best and worst of MTG in 2021. We put a load of these awards out for our Instagram followers to vote on, so make sure to follow us on there if you haven't already. You bet we've got a giveaway planned for when we hit 4,000 followers. Now, let's dive straight into those awards. First on up, we're looking at the best new card of 2021, and boy, there were plenty of choices here. One of the runners-up for best new card was Esper Sentinel. From June's Modern Horizons 2, this human soldier says whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless that player plays X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power. An insane card for white players that finally gives a close parallel to popular cards like Rhystic Study and Mystic Remora. When you consider white is always lacking in card draw, this is always going to be a popular choice. Another runner-up for best new card was Alrund's Epiphany. Released in February's Kaldheim, this sorcery creates 2/1/1 blue bird creature tokens with flying and gets you an extra turn after your current one, with the spell also being able to be foretold. This card almost broke Magic in 2021, with multiple people calling for it to be banned as it was taking over the standard game, with 10 of the 16 finalists in the 2021 World Championship using it. And voted as the best new card in 2021 was the Meat Hook Massacre. From September's Innistrad Midnight Hunt release, this enchantment when ETBs gives each creature -X/-X until end of turn, and whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain a life. With its ability to gain life and drain your opponent when those creatures die, this has already become an auto-include in so many commander decks as it offers so much, especially being in black which loves creature removal. As you can see here, this is a card that has rocketed in price since release and is still slowly on the rise. You bet this is already straight in my Ayara commander deck. Before we look at the worst card of 2021, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for all things MTG. It's completely free to do, and it helps our channel grow and grow as we head towards 2,000 subscribers. Now we're looking at the worst card of 2021, and one of the runners-up was Ludovic Necrogenius. From Midnight Hunt, this human wizard mills 1 when it ETBs or attacks, and you may pay X, 2 blue and 2 black, to exile creatures from your graveyard and transform Ludovic, which then will transform him into Olag. Not only was this one of the weaker commanders from a very strong set of new commanders, but Ludovic's ability cost a very high amount, and the mill 1 trigger feels like it could have been a bit higher. Another high voted runner-up from July's Adventures in the Forgotten Realms was Icing Death Frost Tyrant. This flying vigilant dragon says when it dies, create Icing Death Frost Tongue, a legendary equipment artifact token that gives equipped creature +2/+0 and the chance to tap a defending player's creature when equipped creature attacks. Now this vote seemingly was more a target from commander players, with most voting saying this was neither a viable commander or a viable card to fit in the 99 of any deck. RIP my Frosty Dragon. And voted as the worst new card from 2021 was Wish. Another card from AFR, this sorcery says you may play a card you own from outside the game this turn. Definitely a good card for some formats, considering it's cheaper to play than cards that do a similar job. But again, seemingly a target of voting from the commander-heavy players, this is a card that serves no function within Commander, as you cannot fetch cards from outside the game like you can in Standard. I wish it had done just a little bit more. Sticking with the worst of awards, we're now looking at the worst art of 2021. Getting a few votes and a runner-up medal for this, we're looking at Chatterfang, Squirrel General. From Modern Horizons 2, this 3/3 Forest Walk Squirrel says if 1 or more tokens will be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel tokens are created instead, with the added ability to sack squirrels to give a creature +X/-X until end of turn. Now this is a great card and a viable commander, and one we've covered during Decktober, but I have to agree that the art is very meh, and the colours don't really make the squirrel stand out, although I am a big fan of the borderless version. That pops. And we'll move straight on to the winner for Worst Art 2021, and by a country mile, it was Faithless Looting. Given the reprint treatment during April's Strixhaven set in its Mystical Archive slot, this sorcery says draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, with that added flashback option. This card lit up the MTG community, with dozens of outlets reporting on how bad the art was, with plenty of people thinking its reveal during pre-release was actually a fake. With artist Carly Mazur's other Mystical Archive art Harmonise also getting a few votes and being a runner-up in this category too, I think she didn't quite get the assignment of the Mystical Archive art. Although, I will say having looked at her other artwork outside MTG, she is an insanely talented artist. this was just a swing and a miss for the world of Magic the Gathering. We've looked at the worst art of 2021, now let's look at the best. Starting off with one of the runners-up was Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. From Kaldheim, this 6/6 legendary creature was all about the counters, doubling them on your side if you were to gain any counters, and halving them on your opponent's side if they were to gain any. And I have to agree, the art on this one is fantastic, really detailing the beast and making it look as feared as it should be, with the showcase version, in my opinion, also being just as amazing. Another high voted runner-up was Harness Infinity. From Strixhaven, this instant exchanges your hand and graveyard, and the art is absolutely spectacular and a standout from the Strixhaven set. Now there was a wide variety of the Strixhaven Mystical Archive set that got those votes, some in the standard framing and a few in those Japanese alternate arts, with the winner of best art going to Teferi's Protection, the popular instant that gives you protection from everything and phases you out of the game until your next turn. The art on this is just incredible, with there being so much to take in and enjoy in just one small image. In our penultimate award, we're looking at the worst set of 2021. One of the runners-up for this award was Innistrad Crimson Vow. This set was released in November and the storyline heavily focused around the wedding of Edgar Markov and Olivia Voldaren. This set introduced new mechanics such as Cleave and continued the use of Daybound and Nightbound introduced in Midnight Hunt, but was noted amongst voters as a really lacklustre set with not much of note that would be remembered in the future. At least it did have a few bright spots like Cultivator Colossus and Necro Duality. Another high voted runner-up for worst set was Strixhaven's School of Mages. Although already noted for its great art used throughout in Mystical Archives and borderless work, the set was noted again for being very uninspiring and potentially forgettable in the future. It brought in plenty of new mechanics in Learn, Magecraft and Ward, with Ward now being an evergreen ability having since been used in other sets. I personally myself enjoyed this set, with cards like the Elder Dragons being fun and playable, and plenty of new Commander staples which again have seen plenty of action in EDH since release. And voted as the worst set of 2021 was Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. This crossover set, released in July, replaced the traditional core set usually released around that time of year. It brought in new mechanics such as Pack Tactics, Venture into the Dungeon, and heavily relied on cards using that D20, which is a core staple within the world of D&D. Amongst the voters, it was noted as having disappointing mechanics, as well as being unhappy at the world of Magic for having a crossover that was in a main set. And of course, people were unhappy that it took the place of the core sets, which have been a staple in the world of MTG for a long time. And now to finish up, we're looking at the best set of 2021. Runner-up for this award was Time Spiral Remastered. Released in March, this set was described as a new way to enjoy cards printed within the Time Spiral block, originally released in 2006 and 2007, with several high-value reprints and plenty of those dastardly slivers which I absolutely love. It also introduced time-shifted cards, reprints of classic cards with the old-school frame, some of which, like Ponder and Thoughtseize, go for upwards of $300 if packed in the foil variety. That is nuts. A great set, and it really showed how well a reprinting of a classic block could be handled. And voted by a country mile as the best set in 2021 was Modern Horizons 2. Like Modern Horizons before it, this set introduced new cards into the Modern and Eternal formats without them ever being legal in a standard format. It also included reprints of the always sought after fetch lands, with them all thankfully staying rare rather than mythic rare and having a higher pull rate from those packs. As well as this set having reprints galore, it also introduced a bunch of new cards that not only affected the modern game, but also had a high impact within the always popular Commander format, with cards like Urza's Saga and Dalthy Voidwalker being popular in that format, also as well as CDH. This was an incredible set, and honestly, I wouldn't be mad if they decided to do a Modern Horizons 3 one day. There we have it, that is the end of 2021 awards. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for all things MTG. Check out our link tree in the description below for all of our social media and affiliate links. For now though, I'm all tapped out, so I'll see you in the next video.